Hey guys, Eternal7 here, and today I am going to be doing another ranking video, and that is a ranking of all the Harry Potter books. Now, I know a few months ago I did my ranking of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, and it seems like a lot of you guys enjoyed it a lot, so I decided why not do it with another childhood book series that I used to love reading, and still kind of do now, which is, of course, Harry Potter. Now, I first got into Harry Potter when I was around 4th grade, used to reread it all the time, then I took a few years of a break, and then I said, well, why not go back and reread some of these classics that I enjoyed so much? And of course, that is going to give you guys another ranking video, and I'm super excited to get into this list. So why not start about now? So coming in at number 7 is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Now, the reason why I have this book at the bottom is probably the reason why a lot of other people have it at the bottom of their list, and that's simply because there's just not a lot to it. Because, it is so early into the series and there's just not a lot of depth yet. Now, I do think some of it is kind of interesting. I really like the Tom Riddle backstory. And, I love the beginning where Dobby is, trying to warn Harry not to go back to Hogwarts. That's all fun. The flying car. There's a lot of great moments in this book. But when you have to compare it to all the other 6, it just is a bit forgettable in comparison. So, yeah, that's Chamber of Secrets. Coming in at number 6 is Sorcerer's Stone. Now, another reason why I have this book a lot lower on the list, because even though there are a lot of great scenes, like where Hagrid comes in and, tells Harry, his past, or when they go to Diagon Alley or the Mirror of Her Eyes, there are some incredible, absolutely heartwarming moments in this book. But again, I just prefer something that's a little more in-depth and just more fully realized. This was her first book, so she didn't really know if it was going to be a hit or a success or anything like that. But just the rest, it gives me more. It's more darkness, more despair, and that's just more of my thing when it comes to the Harry Potter series. So that's the Sorcerer's Stone. So coming in at number 5 is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Now, this one was a little bit hard to rank. I thought about putting it at number 6 maybe, just because there is a lot of filler in this book. It's about 870 pages long. On this edition, 260,000 words. And honestly, I think it could have been cut down to 200 or even 180, like Goblet of Fire and the Deathly Hallows, because even though there is a lot of greatness to this book, like Dumbledore's army, or that, that third act when they're in the Hall of the Prophecies, it's just, there's a lot of chapters that just kind of go nowhere. And I'm not saying that they should have cut down on the events that happened in this book. Mostly everything that happens is pretty important. It's just that the paragraphs that she uses to describe them could really be cut. So yeah, that's just why it's here at number 5. But yes, still a great book nonetheless. Coming in at number 4 is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Now, this book could have cracked into the top 3 if it just didn't have so much filler. My issue with this is kind of similar to the Order of the Phoenix, as there's a lot of chapters that just go nowhere, unnecessary descriptions that are just kind of tedious to get through. However, even when you put aside that, some of the greatest scenes in the entirety of the Harry Potter franchise is in this book. For example, the Triwizard Tournament, the tasks that they go through are absolutely incredible to read. Of course, when Voldemort comes back, one of the most blood-boiling scenes in the entirety of Harry Potter, and a great ending too, nonetheless. I mean, this is still a really good book. One of the books I used to reread a lot when I was younger, but it's just not quite good enough to go into the top 3, but still absolutely fantastic nonetheless. So that's Goblet of Fire. So now coming in at number 3 is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This was the first book in the series that felt very fleshed out and its own thing. J.K. Rowling kind of knew what she wanted to do with this series, and she absolutely nailed it. The stuff with Sirius Black, the Marauders map, Hermione's secret, that chapter where they save Buckbeak, from being executed, because, I'm a sucker for time travel. Lupin, too, just so many great characters, so many great plot elements, and yeah, I absolutely love this book. It was the first book that really made me fall in love with Harry Potter. The first one introduced me to the world, but this one, I already felt like I was a part of it, just because it really takes you in that heavily. So yes, Prisoner of Azkaban, number 3. So coming in at number 2. Number 1 and number 2 were really hard to decide because they are both 5-star reads. However, for number 2, I think I'm going to go with The Half-Blood Prince. The Half-Blood Prince is one of those books where I actually don't really like the movie adaptation all that much because it's really slow. And the thing is, this book is also pretty slow as well. It does take a while to get into some of the nitty-gritty details, but for some reason, I don't mind it in this book because the way J.K. Rowling writes her prose and all the details leading up to Voldemort's backstories and what the other characters know is just what's so interesting. Not a single second in this book was I dull or did I want to get through it to the next chapter because everything was so pivotal and was so just groundbreaking. So yeah, this is one of those books that it holds up so well, even if you are kind of like, tired of, reading Harry Potter and all these young adult books. Half-Blood Prince is going to punch you with the amount of emotional power that you would get in any classic novel or something that is meant for an older audience, just because it is that grounded in its storytelling. So yeah, that's Half-Blood Prince, number 2. And of course, coming in at number 1, it's The Deathly Hallows. Now, The Deathly Hallows is a 5-star book, but what makes it different from my other 5-star reads is that I don't think it's absolutely flawless. There's a lot of chapters in the first half that are really slow and that are kind of hard to get through. But that second half, like after Dobby dies, or when they go to Gringotts, or the Battle of Hogwarts, The Prince's Tale, probably the best chapter in the entirety of the Harry Potter series, is what makes this book not only the best Harry Potter book that I've ever read, but also one of the most fulfilling reads that I've ever had. I've read so many books after the Harry Potter series, so many different genres, but this still is one of the greatest books and one of the most emotionally powerful stories that I've ever read. And it's such an important book to me, and that is why Deathly Hallows is my number 1 favorite. So yeah, that was my quick little ranking of the Harry Potter books. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah, peace.